Good evening, everyone. I am Chris, and I am joined, thankfully, this week with JXEditor for more Star Wars discussions, talking about Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, Chapter 18. Fuck, that's a lot of numbers. Whatever it is, the Mines, I keep wanting to say the Mines of Moria every time. The Mines of Mandalore. It's so but yeah, we're here to talk about it. This is going to be fun. We haven't talked Star Wars. Well, I mean, we've talked Star Wars quite a lot, actually. That's a lie. We haven't talked Star Wars this in depth since Andor, so it's nice that we've got another Star Wars show to tear apart, disagree on, or agree on. There is certainly one thing that we do agree on. We both compiled notes individually.
Yeah.
This wasn't a collaborative effort, by the way. I did this morning. I actually can't remember when you watched the episode. I think it was early on.
This morning, but we have different mornings.
But we do have some correlations going on here. We do have some similar notes, so it should be really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what else you've got on there. Before we kick off, how are you doing? And yeah, we'll do like all the socials and stuff, like where can people find you, all that good stuff.
Hello, I am JXEditor. I'm a fan editor on the YouTubes. You can find me on youtube.com/JXEditor. It's right there.
Oh, God. Ah, the fuck.
I still got it.
I can't. Okay, yeah.
See, I don't care how you do at this point. I've nailed it.
But yeah, Mandalorian. Before we dive into it, I want to get your opinion on episode 1, because we did try and organize something last week. Unfortunately, our schedules didn't marry up and everything like that. But fingers crossed for the rest of season 3. Hopefully, we should be in business. But yeah, if you want to kind of recap people,
I was getting my
thoughts
driver's license that day.
Oh, okay. That's fair. You're excused. Okay, that's fair enough.
Anyway, I'm not 16. Just saying, I got it late.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, what did you ask me about?
What were your thoughts on the last episode?
The first episode?
Yeah.
It felt like it was there for people who only there for people who didn't watch Boba Fett.
Really? Because I know people that didn't watch Boba Fett and were really fucking confused how Grogu was back.
No, I know that, but he kind of explains it. But the thing is, the whole plot, everything that develops about the plot was already established in Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was just there to fill them in on Grogu is back. He has to do this.
Mm-hmm. I was actually surprised with this episode that I thought they were going to tread water. I thought this second episode was going to be another filler episode. Thankfully, it looks like things are moving on. Like, we actually reach Mandalore in this episode. In episode 2, I'm like, oh, okay. But like, that he reaches his destination.
Yeah, that seemed kind of early.
He doesn't quite achieve his goal, but I expect that we're going to get a lot more Mandalore stuff. At least I hope we do. This is only a very small portion of the city that we see. The mines and the catacombs or whatever it is. Like, we see a portion of the city, but I don't know if Mandalore as a planet is just one big city, kind of like Coruscant, or if there's multiple things to it.
It used to be just close. It was just like a regular planet. Like Naboo and Onderon. But the lifestyle kind of led to it being decimated before the Empire, and then the Empire used nukes, so it was pretty bad. You see in Clone Wars, they're in like these dome cities, like it's in the middle of a wasteland. Like, she refers to those what were they actually called, the monsters with the spines?
The Alamites.
Yeah, the Alamites roamed the wastes outside of the city, which implies there were wastes outside of the city. And she says earlier that it used to be green.
Which begs the question, if the Empire has this level of power where they can basically nuke an entire planet and commit mass genocide on an entire race of people, why do they even need the Death Star?
I mean, it probably took a while. And also, I would say that considering that most of the planet was already wasteland, I think they just needed to nuke key targets.
But I mean, Mandalore was a warrior race. If anyone was going to fight back against the Empire, it would probably be the Mandalorians, with how much tech they've got and how highly civilized they are and everything like that. Yet the Empire quite easily threw a couple of TIE fighters in to bomb the place, and got the job done.
I
And
assume they had already broken the defenses with like Star Destroyers.
maybe it's just because we never really, to my knowledge, anyway. I mean, this is why I've got you on here, because you know Star Wars way more than I do. I don't think the Empire has done this to any other planets in a similar kind of treatment. I could be wrong, or at least this is the only documented one, maybe.
Not.
They just really fucking hated the Mandalorians.
The Empire hasn't. I know, like in canon, essentially not in canon, in Legends, the term "destroy a planet" was redefined by the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Because planets had been destroyed before, like you know the dark-skinned rebel leader in Andor.
Yeah.
She's the senator from Terrace, which, if I don't know if you even remember that Knights of the Old Republic movie we reviewed a while back.
No,
but
so.
Terrace is the planet that they're on. That the planet is wiped from the face of the galaxy, and yet she's alive in Rogue One, because what that means is the fleet made a big line, and it's like the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I still haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, so
that's why I didn't get into specifics. But you if you've seen it, you'll know what I mean.
I mean, you've also got stuff like the Yuzang Vong, but I don't know if they just came in and slaughtered people rather than actually the planets. But
no, the Yuzang Vong killed the war
Trillions,
with Yuzang Vong was more devastating than the Empire, than any other war. Like, they killed trillions.
Yeah.
They destroyed planets. They would attach like gravity wells to moons so that they would be forced to collide into the planet. That's how Chewbacca died.
I remember he got hit by a moon. Yeah. And I'm not talking about like Plagueis. I'm talking about like
not a moon.
Oh god, that's a terrible joke. That's a bad Star Wars joke right there. Anyway, Mines of Mandalore. What did you think of it compared to the previous episode?
They called it a mine.
A mine.
Actually, when I got a laugh from the room when Bo-Katan said, when was leading him to him, there's the big hole in the wall, and she's like, "There's the mines of Mandalore." You motherfucker.
See,
there's the mines of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene that I'm talking about?
I believe so. Yeah.
I said, when she says that, "My cousin Balin will give us a royal welcome."
This is no mine; it's a tomb. Yeah, but what did you think of the episode? Let's just go bare bones. Just like, obviously, we're going to like pick this apart, go through it plot point. What did you think of it overall? Things happen. Yeah, which
I like this one.
It's nice. It's nice when plot things happen, isn't it? And like characters actually have conversations that have bearing on the plot. It's kind of what I want for every episode, really.
I don't want it for every episode, because I appreciate that the show is like half plot, half serial. However, you should not open the season with cereal or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah. And it was just tonally all over the place. Even if you compare the tone of that previous episode to this one, it's almost like it comes from a completely different direction, completely different show. This seemed a lot more grounded and taking itself seriously a little bit more. It's not to say that humor doesn't have a place in Star Wars. Of course it does, when it's tonally consistent, and sometimes it never is. I enjoyed this episode. It ends on a hard cliffhanger. Clearly going to tie into, I'm guessing it's going to be a two-parter episode. I actually didn't see who directed this one. I think Favreau wrote it, or actually Favreau could have, I'm going to check actually. Favreau may have directed this one.
This is something that should have been done before
we
started streaming. Not that I'm judging you, but, well, no, I am.
I'm on it. Give me a second. Okay, so it was directed by Rachel Morrison. I actually don't know if she's directed any of these before. Yeah, okay, yeah, it was written by Favreau. Yeah, again, same writer as the previous episode. So how come the last one sucked and this one was really good? I don't know.
Because the last one was literally just to give us all the plot points from Boba Fett.
Oh, Favreau's got a writing credit on every single episode this season. So,
I want
For
to with all the AI voices going on. I want to redub his Mandalorian with Clancy Brown
oh my god, yeah, that'd be cool.
because that's just such a Clancy Brown character.
Well, Clancy Brown was already in season one of
Montrose.
yeah. So
Oh,
well, Andy Serkis was in Andor and also played Snoke. So
you were talking about the Deveronian. I was talking about the Mandalorian.
yeah.
He was in Django what was the Django Fett game? Bounty Hunter.
Oh, Bounty Hunter. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's the evil Mandalorian or whatever, however you classify that.
Okay, let's dive into the
Evil.
episode then. So I've kind of got rough notes at the beginning. I didn't take as many. It seems when I'm actually kind of into an episode, I don't take as many notes as I do when I just hate it. So I believe it starts off on Boonta Eve, right? I think we just kickstart straight off on Tatooine. Or
It's
did I
not
forget
Bunta
an opening
Eve.
scene?
It's the heart of Bunta Week,
Okay.
I think,
Well,
or the start, or maybe it is Bunta Eve actually. Maybe like that. It's that.
It's coming up to it because it's member bearers. It's
Well,
of course,
Bunta Eve would be how you start Bunta Week most, or
yeah.
would it, yeah.
And
unless Bunta Eve. Wait, unless Bunta Eve is like the second to last day.
There's a big race tomorrow on Boonta Eve. Okay, so the pod race happens on Boonta Eve, and then what's Boonta then? Is it like Christmas? Do they just like buy gifts for each other?
I don't know what Bunta is, but I know it's a week because she says it's Bunta Week. Now, that might just mean the week leading up to Bunta, or it might be the week of Bunta.
Yeah, week commencing.
I don't like saying Bunta. It sounds like Australian terminology for like a I don't know, it's something dirty.
So
sounds a bit rude, doesn't it?
So if
it's a Blackadder reference.
It is. I get that reference. Okay, if Boonta Week then is the week commencing on a Monday, for example, what if on that particular year Boonta takes place on a Monday? Do you skip Boonta Week the time it lands on a Monday, or if it takes place on a Tuesday, do you get 1 day of Boonta Week? But that also clashes with Boonta Eve because that's the Monday.
That brings in the question: is Bunta like Easter or Christmas?
Isn't there like a fucking Wikipedia article on this shit? Because Boonta's been a thing since 1999.
Speculating about this because this is freaking hilarious. This is gold we're making.
That's homework for someone. Anyone watching this who actually gives a shit, please Wikipedia that and let us know what the hell is Boonta. So yeah, as soon as we not crash land, but we land on Tatooine, and I never want to see this planet ever again. I hate this planet. I didn't want to see it in season 1 of Mandalore, but we got it anyway. The Mandalorian. We go back there in season 2, I think. And then we got a shit ton of it in Book of Boba Fett, and I never watched it, but obviously plot-wise, you get it in Kenobi as well. And we're back here, and I just don't want to see Tatooine ever again. Least of all, the SNL chick.
Kenobi.
Oh, whatever. It's just, yeah, but the SNL chick, I can't stand her character. I can't stand the way she talks, how modern, she can't, it just clashes with everything in Star Wars. It feels like an extended SNL skit, like she's just improvising every line, and I've never cared for her character, but she imparts R5. Now, one of the biggest problems that I had with the previous episode was the fact that no one's ever really gone, and IG-11, after commencing a self-destruct protocol, the head survives, the torso survives, and 2 of the 4 limbs survive, so that's a pretty shitty self-destruct mechanism. If he were to self-destruct so no one can like strip him of his like secrets or his like memory bank or something, if he's got some important codes. And he was also in lava, so yeah. But anyway, he's, as far as I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, Din Djarin is looking for a memory part for an IG unit.
An IG memory unit.
Because he wants to take IG-11 with him to the surface of Mandalore to check if Mandalore is poisonous. Because droids don't get poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
She says she hasn't got one, so she gives him R5 because, again, member berries, we all remember R5. He gets R5. I'm jumping ahead a little bit now. He flies straight to Mandalore. and R5 gets out and he's like telling him to like go and check if the coast is clear and take a sample of the Earth. R5 goes missing. So Din just climbs out of the craft, but has a breathing apparatus and is walking around on the surface. So why did he need a droid in the first place? If he's like all suited and booted to breathe on the surface, and we know, hell, it's Star Wars. We know that breathing apparatus like exist, are a thing. Fucking Darth Vader, Saw Gerrera. Hell, even in Empire Strikes Back, there's the bit where they're in the worm's belly and Han Solo comes out and they've all got gas masks on. Why did he need a droid to test if it was poison? If he could just walk around on it anyway.
Have you watched Chernobyl?
I've seen the first episode.
Okay, let me put it to you like this. Even if you have a hazmat suit, you want as many layers between you and radiation as possible. So if you can do it with the droid, do it with the droid.
That's fine, but the droid goes missing and he just gets out anyway, and everyone's fine, and it's all cool, and everything's fine, and he's suited and booted.
That's called being able to see into the future.
Then what's the point of a breathing apparatus if you're not going to use it? What's the point? My point is, he's already suited. I thought he didn't have a suit.
You know what the point of the breathing apparatus is? Literally to have a breathing apparatus, because otherwise, why do you have a helmet on all the time?
I thought maybe it was something to do with if he has a sample, as in some like data, he has he has something tangible to take back and show the creeds. So it's not like he just bullshitted that he went to Mandalore and everything was fine. He's got evidence that he's actually been on the surface.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he just gotta pick something up, doesn't he?
But if it was literally just to breathe, he could breathe anyway, and he demonstrates this. In my notes, I wrote, if the surface of Mandalore is poisonous, can't he just get a breathing apparatus? And then as soon as I wrote that note, I just put, oh wait, he does.
But it's not just the breathing. It's the fact that yes, he has a breathing apparatus. Yes, that would protect him a good bit, again, probably against radiation. It's never going to protect him completely. That's just how radiation works. Yes, it works out for the better, but that doesn't mean that there was no reason to do it in the first place.
So what's the plan here? So okay, R5 comes back and goes, "Yep, it's poisonous." Does he just get in his ship and fly away, or because he's got a breathing apparatus, does he just go, "Okay, I'll be extra careful"?
Probably just leaves the kid, and he's just like, "Okay," or he goes and gets a better. He gets like some fucking lead weave. I don't know. What is it? How does lead? What is
like Star Wars equivalent of lead.
So okay, there's plastisteel, there's transparent steel. So there's like,
is that unobtainium?
What's a fabric?
I
mean, there's steel wool, so they're just like lead wool.
There's that one that Vader's gloves are made from in that Red Letter Media video.
Oh,
they talk about something.
No, they're made of Mandalorian iron. They're made of Beskar.
Oh no, there's something that they mention like that's a weave fiber or something. I swear there is.
Well, I mean, I know he has the like insulated weave to protect from force.
That might be it. That might be what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I might be thinking of that actually. And there's not much to say. Like in this episode, he touches down. R5 goes missing. He goes after him, and then this brings us on to. I mean, I don't know if you've got.
Wait, hang on. Wait. Let me. You're jumping ahead because I wanted to comment about Tatooine.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Because I remember season 2. What's her face speaks frog lizard.
Oh yeah.
I believe her speaking Jawa a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, R5D4 being referred to as from the Rebellion. That is a reference to one of your favorite books, Chris.
Oh, is it?
From a certain point of view.
Oh, is this where like R5 was the unsung hero all along?
It's the short story that features R2D2 saying, "Help me, R5D4. You're my only hope."
what? Why do I still talk about Star Wars anymore? It's just dead. It's just dead. It's a husk. Why are we here, dude? Why are we talking?
That's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it? Why are we here? I mean, are we the product of some cosmic coincidence? Or is there really a God with a plan for us and everything? I don't know, man. But it keeps me up at night. A little internet history there for you. For you youngins. A little nostalgia for the people who were on the computer in like 2003.
Yeah, on that straight dial-up. Loved it. It's a great time. Anyway, what are the notes you got then?
I do not have a lot of notes. So you mentioned him stealing his helmet, or him mentioning him stealing his helmet. So that's why they have the Vader sound in the last episode.
Yeah, but nothing got sealed when she put it on that little kid. It was just like a little bucket that she put on his head. It went like but nothing sealed.
I'm assuming there's just something underneath.
It's just a fucking bucket rattling around on his head like a cheap plastic toy you can buy from like Walmart or something.
I did notice that like it had the big visor like the toy, so like probably so kids will buy the toy.
Just they should never appear in daylight. The costumes look so terrible in the daylight. I was just cracking up. I was like, this is meant to be like a really serious Creed, and they look absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, the next note that I've got is the one that we shared before we went live. So they get attacked by monsters, and I'm going to pass over to you here because this is actually uncanny that we were both on the same wavelength for this.
They remind me of the feral future humans from the Time Machine.
Yeah, the Morlocks. Yeah. And I haven't seen that. You're referring to the Guy Pearce movie, I assume, from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I saw that movie once. I think it's got like Samantha Mumber in and like Jeremy Irons.
Twice.
I saw that movie once when it came out. And somehow I remember the fucking Morlocks. I remember them bursting out of sand or something in the movie.
Yeah.
They kind of look like Uruk-hai a little bit or like Predator. They fight a whole bunch of them, and to be honest, that's kind of most of the episode. There's some very weird and wonderful monsters that they fight in these mines, included but not limited to those Morlocks. But we also have so I've got another note here. Mando gets trapped by a crab droid. It's a trap. Now I think this was all orchestrated by Bo-Katan. I think she hired all these guys. I don't think they were just there. Because this seems to be all part of the plan. Because she gets the Darksaber by the end of it.
A guy, actually, no way. Bo-Katan just no way. Bo-Katan orchestrated this, because the thing is that there's just one thing. It's just the eye thing. It rides the big thing or it rides the little thing. But its goal is to just drain Din of his blood. I don't think she would do that. I don't think she would set that up for him to do that.
Maybe that was a him thing, because he kind of reminded me of General Grievous a little bit. He's like he's more machine now than man. There's clearly some biological creature going on there. I swear, like the noises he was making at some points reminded me of Grievous as well. Is the blood just to sustain him, or are they going to explain that? I mean, he's pretty much killed straight away. This thing, I don't know. I don't think this thing has a name.
We might not need to. I mean, we don't really need to know what the blood was for, but I'm sure there'll be like a Wikipedia article about it.
Oh, probably, yeah. I mean, this isn't like also, we need Grogu to get his blood again. That's a plot point that needs to come back up at some point. What they were trying to do with that.
Ooh, what do you think Mando's M count is? Like 265?
Yeah, it's not going to be that high, is it? Oh, it'd be higher than some, but
yeah, probably. Oh, I don't know, because like how much can be attributed to like the Force, and how much can be attributed to his actual plot armor?
It's true, and Grogu's help as well.
Like, this is the most appropriate. Like, I'm not going to get into it because like the horse is long dead, but it is plot armor.
Mm. I'm going to pass over to you again now, because I ask of this of you.
I got one more thing to say about the monster thing.
Go on. Yeah.
The big robot body. We never got a good look at it, but I'm wondering if it's a basilisk, which I know sounds like a snake, It's not a snake.
Wait, is this the giant robot thing from Force Unleashed 2? Now that I think about it, don't you fight like a giant robot in an arena in that game?
Yes, but I don't think they're called basilisks.
Okay, I have no idea. Go on then. I
A
have no idea what it
basilisk war droid. So a Mandalorian ship would fly above your planet, and the Neo Crusaders would put on their armor and then climb on the back of a basilisk war droid, and it would jump off of the ship at low orbit. And that's how they invaded your home.
I like to think they'd look a little bit more refined than this. I mean, the crab droid.
I mean,
thing
it's not. I'm assuming it's not in good shape, but
yeah,
it did remind me a bit of what you see in Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mando gets captured and he sends Grogu away, and he wants Grogu to go and raise the alarm, go back to Bo-Katan and send help. Okay, now this is when I pass over to you for some completely pointless Star Wars knowledge, but it was on my mind. This really reminded me of that scene in season 7 of Game of Thrones where they're pinned down by the White Walkers, and it's like, Gendry, run back to the wall and send a raven to Dragonstone and send help. How far? I know they're traveling by light speed, but sometimes you still got to travel. Like, you can sleep in space. You can probably sleep for a day or two as you're just traveling through hyperspace because it's that far away. I don't remember which planet Bo-Katan was on. And I don't know where
one of the Mandalorian moons.
Oh, okay. So it's close.
Yeah,
close.
No,
that was going to be my question. I
points
couldn't
to it
remember
on
how
the map.
far away she was.
Yeah, no, because Grogu gets into the cockpit and points to it on the map, and R5 takes him there.
But she's so sure that Mandalore is completely uninhabitable. But has she gone to the surface? Has she tried going to the surface herself?
She
before?
downloads all R5's data.
So she's never gone back to the surface herself until this episode.
Right.
Then how is she so sure that it's if she's on one of the moons? Why would she live on one of the moons of Mandalore if she's like really pissed off at Mandalore and really angry about it? Like, why? If she's that close to Mandalore, go down and visit it yourself.
Fucking live in the castle.
If she's like hell bent on seeing what Mandalore's like now, and she's so sure, why hasn't she visited there? Like, at least, she's gone to the surface and just checked.
What do you mean hell bent on like seeing what it's like? It was about reclaiming it. There was no point.
Well, she's so sure, and she talks like she's been there. It's like, I have seen the desolation of my planet, and it's never coming back. Well, it sounds pretty much like she's.
She said she doesn't blame the utter destruction of Mandalore. She blames all the fractioning, which I would say is probably why Mandalorians have survived.
Mm-hmm. My point is the way that she talks. It just seems like you would have thought if
I never got that impression. I got to be honest.
If she lived that close to Mandalore, like, go and fucking check it out. If that's like your birthright and you want to see what's become of it, you think she would have at least been curious to check what it's like now. I still think there's more at play to this because it's very convenient that she gets the Darksaber, and then I was trying to think of the journey of this Darksaber.
She uses it, but she doesn't get it.
Well, you have to earn it in combat, right? So this droid thing clearly beats Din Djarin in combat, and although he's not wielding the Darksaber, he clearly, takes from him all his weapons and searches him and everything, and he's just kind of got the Darksaber in like a pile of trash. And then she picks up the Darksaber and kills the droid with it. So technically, in my opinion, the droid became the new owner, very briefly, of the Darksaber, and she beat that droid with the Darksaber. So technically, I think she's in the right. I think she has got ownership of that.
She could definitely make that claim. Will she? I don't know, because she picked it up and like put it back on his belt.
That's true. I thought this was all part of a plan so she could get a hold of it or try and get him out of the picture, try and get Mando out of the picture somehow.
At this point, I think she's staying with him possibly to hope he dies, maybe?
I do think she's going to become more of a villain. I definitely think they're trekking to having her be, if not like a major antagonist, like an anti-hero at least, where she's in it for her own agenda. There's no love lost there between her and Mando.
Wait a second. Cara Dune is gone. I really hope they don't bang.
What, Mando and her?
And Bo-Katan.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll do it. It's Disney, for fuck's sake. No one falls in love in Disney Star Wars anymore.
I don't know, because they seem to be hinting at that with Cara, and now she's gone. She's gone. They might reuse those ideas because you're saying Disney won't do that. Whose name is on all of these episodes?
Well, Disney, kind of.
I'm also saying who has a writing hand,
I just don't think they have any chemistry. I really like.
No, me neither. That's why I really hope they don't bang.
Yeah, Bo-Katan almost seems completely asexual so far in this series because there's been not even a nudge, not even an inkling of being anywhere kind of interested in that thing. She's just hell-bent on wanting to see Mandalore restored and probably to get the Darksaber as well, based on the ending of season 2 and how she was giving him evils because he's essentially got her birthright. Because she did own the saber for a while, didn't she? If I remember rightly, she did once own the Darksaber before it was lost.
Sabine won it from Gar Saxon and then gave it to Bo-Katan.
And she went back to Mandalore with that, and they all ridiculed her and said, well, you didn't win this in combat, so
no,
this means
it's
nothing.
not that they ridiculed. They accepted her, but she failed.
Right. Let's see. I mean, I don't really have many other notes.
She publicly gave it to her. Like, it's not like this is like happening behind.
Like,
she's like, the Darksaber is yours, and she picks it up, does this, and everybody cheers.
Mm-hmm. Grogu shows back up with Bo-Katan. Pew pew, fighty fight. She beats the giant crab droid cyborg thing. And then Mando gets to the pool of sacred tears, the lake of whatever it is in the Mines of Mandalore.
Do you have subtitles on, by the way?
No, I didn't this episode. No.
During his both first episode and this episode, during like the vow being made in the water,
mm-hmm.
They refer to the way of the Mandalore, but it's spelled MAND parentheses ALOR, and that's very Lori.
Mm-hmm.
That's the language of the town,
mm-hmm.
which was a species of like reptilian warriors from Coruscant.
They were the original inhabitants of Coruscant, weren't they? Before it all got industrialized.
They were one of two native species to Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Unclear if the other ones were also aliens or if they were humans.
Mm-hmm. I thought they were humans. I remember. I think I watched a video on the history of Coruscant at some point. I thought they were humans, but I could be mistaken.
But after they got kicked off Coruscant, they went into hiding on like a planet that they got stuck on. Then they were rounded up by their sole leader, or Mandalore.
Mm. And he starts to say the words, and then he what's the term for having like a fear of like a giant body of water? Because that like kicked in as soon as he like just went bloof, like straight in.
So did he get dragged or did he just not see a hole?
I wondered that.
Like, because he's weighed down by the arm. Because you said, they didn't tread water this episode. And I was just like, well, they couldn't.
I thought he got dragged down, but when she dives in the water, I mean, he sinks fucking quick. I know he probably weighs a ton with all the Beskar and everything, but that was quick. Because she has to use her jetpack under the water in order to get to him, and he's already pretty much at the bottom of that pool. And I don't think you'd sink that fast. So I was under the impression he got pulled under the water, but
100% Beskar, so she might need the boost because she's got Clone Wars armor, which you see plenty of Mandalorians just kind of dying when they get shot in Clone Wars and Rebels.
And then we get our reveal of the Mythosaur, but the Mythosaur doesn't wake up until she swims down as well, which which tells me that he probably didn't get dragged. Maybe it was just like step, sheer drop in like a pit. Which, you think they'd have some kind of sign up. Is that how it always was? Was that how the pool always was, or has the bottom of it been demolished?
Because she stood in those waters, so she would know that it was there.
So it's been hollowed out for this mythosaur. I mean, I don't know much about.
I would assume there were like tectonic shakes with the nukes that shook the bottom out, revealing a larger. There might have been a small hole somewhere that just is now a bat.
And I mean, I don't know much about the mythosaur other than that it's kind of the logo of the Mandalorians. Beyond that, I don't know much about it. I don't know if the mythosaur has always been part of the Star Wars lore, if that's something new they've brought in for this or played up a bit more.
No, that's always been. That's a big deal.
But a mythosaur's never been revealed in Star Wars before.
Not in any live action media. They're long extinct.
Because I kept thinking in like the holiday special, the original appearance of Boba Fett, when he's riding that dinosaur thing, I thought, was that originally meant to be a mythosaur?
That's not a mythosaur. No.
Right.
Has no horns. Does not look like a warthog or whatever the hell you said.
Well, I said it looks like the Motorhead logo with the band, but
and then you just attributed that to tusks, and I'm just like, dude, anything
kind of looks like it in a little bit. If you squint a little bit, kind of looks the same. And then it just fucking wakes up, and it's like this giant Cthulhu-esque Godzilla motherfucker under the water, and then we hard cut to credits, and that's the end of the episode.
Well, there's always a bigger fish.
I was thinking that. I mean, now that we've talked about it, I mean, we've only been talking. I mean, we've gone off on a lot of tangents, so we haven't really said much. So now that I've said it, maybe not a lot happened in this episode, but because it was just plot focused.
I don't have many notes. I have one note I didn't say, which was I want to re-edit this episode to get rid of most of the stuff the Mandalorian says, because it's kind of pointless. He's talking to Grogu, but he's actually just talking to us, and we can just watch him and know what he's doing.
Well, I kept saying, like, there's no reason why Grogu had to get back with Mando. It just seems like they've hit the reset button in order to establish a cutesy. Grogu is the moneymaker. He's the one that the audiences love, and that he's cute and everything. And it's just, you couldn't just do a series with Mando on his own. I actually really liked the Book of Boba Fett episode where it was centered on Mando and he was off on his own doing cool shit. Have you played the Mass Effect games?
A bit, yeah.
He goes to that spaceport. I really loved the design of that place. It was a really cool new place.
It reminded. Citadel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it reminded me of the Citadel of Mass Effect. And I loved that place, and just seeing Mando doing what he was doing. I think we could have gone for a whole season of that. I do think he would have reunited with Grogu at some point this season. I think that was a foregone conclusion, but I just wish they'd have given it more time, plot-wise.
Yeah.
And if you were going to do it in the fucking Mandalorian series. Have that be your opening episode. That would have been a really cool episode, like season opener. That and the Luke Skywalker episode. Do it as like a two-parter thing. You'd have to bring Boba Fett into it, I guess, when they actually get reunited in Tatooine. But there's ways and means. Yeah. So I mean, predictions for next episode. Is it just going to be a big Godzilla fight with this mythosaur? I think the mythosaur is going to be very docile. I think it's going to be like this godlike thing.
Do you think it can talk?
I hope not. And because if it does talk,
like the Bendu.
If it does talk, I want to. You know, when Peter Jackson was thinking of how to do Smaug, and he initially went for like this telepathic, like it wasn't moving its mouth talking, it was just like this corporeal like voice. That I hope they do something like that. But no, I don't want it to talk.
That's the Old Republic.
I don't want it to talk. I think that would be really, really hokey. Or if it kind of like growls and it's almost like, I can hear a voice in my head or something, and I don't know. But I don't. What's it gonna say? What's the prophecy again? Mandalore will be restored, and the mythosaur will rear its ugly head, or something. What was the prophecy?
Hang on.
It's the prophecy. We're fact checking, guys. Just talk amongst yourselves, okay? We will return to your regularly scheduled programming shortly. Yeah, like there's some. I swear there's some kind of prophecy. And does the mythosaur signal, like that Mandalore is back on the resurgence, or?
Wow, I was gonna do like a. Jesus Christ! I was gonna do like a joke. I was gonna read the prophecy of the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3 lines, and I hate it.
Go on. What the mythosaur?
No, the chosen one. I was gonna do.
We don't give a shit about the chosen one. The chosen one's dead at this point, and Rey's going to be around in about 20 years' time.
Yeah, no, but do you know what the hang on? Let's tangent. I'm sorry, but it's fucking ridiculous.
Go on, read it out. Read it out.
Line 1, a Jedi will come. Line 2, to destroy the Sith. Line 3, and bring balance to the Force.
You know, they keep talking about this prophecy so much in the prequels. It's weird that it never gets. Well, they say, like, is he not destined to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force? So the prophecy says. There you go.
A prophecy that misread could have been. How the fuck do you misread that?
Oh, you see, because Rey is the one who will bring balance to the Force, as Anakin
I don't even like. What? I don't give a shit about that prophecy because it was stupid before I read it. But oh my god, I feel so vindicated.
Right, find the fucking mythosaur prophecy.
Mandalorian.
There's a lot of prophecies
Mandalorian
in Star
prophecy.
Wars. Okay, read it out. Read it out for the people in the back.
Songs of eons past foretold of the mythosaur rising to herald a new age of Mandalore.
Okay, yeah, so it's like
it only exists in legends.
So here's the thing. So that mythosaur was always there.
That was terrible.
And no one saw this giant Godzilla monster underneath the ground.
Well, again, like you just said it yourself, it was underneath the ground, and I'm assuming that hole wasn't there, and you don't know how big that whole underground water, like ocean, is. Actually,
well, whenever it was opened up, you think it would have woken up then?
It probably did.
Okay, so it's gonna. Okay, so Mandalore isn't going to get back to full form at the end of this series. There is no way. It can't happen.
They could start.
Oh, you're gonna have like Mando riding around on this fucking mythosaur, aren't you? I just know it's gonna happen. It's gonna be like that.
I'm assuming
it's gonna be like the
Grogu's
Rancor thing.
Down.
It's gonna be like the Rancor thing in Book of Boba Fett.
It's just like I'm imagining Boba Fett being like, "Yeah," and then just Mando's like, "Oh, hey, man."
I think you're gonna have like.
Fun.
I think initially you're gonna have some kind of like altercation, like a fight, and then I think it'll be really docile.
I think Grogu's gonna like stare it down.
It'd be like Shadow of the Colossus or something. Oh, good shout! Yeah, actually, I think. Yeah, because so far, as I mentioned, like I really resented the fact that Grogu was back in this series, and I was thinking there is no point and purpose for him to be there. So far, his only purpose is to go and get Bo-Katan. So he does actually have like a plot relevance, I guess, in that he goes back and gets aid. You could rework that ever so slightly and just be like, R5, take the ship back to Bo-Katan and pass on the message. So you could still not have Grogu in there, actually. I take back what I just said.
What if they get eaten in the next episode?
Oh no!
And there's like Mandalorians alive in the mythosaur.
We're gonna get biblical in this bitch.
And Pinocchio.
Speaking of which, I watched Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio 2 nights ago.
Oh, how'd that go?
It was very nice animation. The movie wasn't that great, but I will do a review close to the time. So the next episode is directed by Lee Isaac Chung and is written by
John
Noah
Favreau.
Claw. His name is Noah. We are going to get so biblical in the next episode, I guarantee. Noah Claw and John Favreau. The episode following that is going to be John Favreau and Dave Filoni, so I'm guessing that's going to be the one where you're going to have Ahsoka in there, or there's going to be some bigger thing, because they're going to be setting up the Ahsoka series with this one, I guarantee. I don't know in relation what the time frame is going to be like, because she goes off to look for... No, she's looking for Admiral Thrawn, isn't she, in season
Space
2
whales.
of Mandalorian. And Space Whales, we've already had the Space Whales in the previous episode. Yeah. So it's happening. It's happening. We're turning this shit into the MCU.
I really hope, I really hope, I know the people, you probably would be, okay. It's very possible we're not getting this, but I really want Eli Vanto in live action. He's Thrawn's Thrawn's protege from the Imperial Academy. He found him in the outer rim, and he was like this hick from the outer rim at their local academy, who spoke a bunch of trade languages from the outer rim and unknown regions, one of which Thrawn also spoke, so he was his translator until he learned Basic. But he's like his Watson.
Oh, okay.
And here's the thing. I'm hoping like all those references to books, like, the Cobb Vanth just being Cobb Vanth, from Aftermath, R5D4 and his certain point, and their certain point of view references. I'm really hoping we get Eli Vanto and not just Captain Pelion.
They still haven't announced
Captain
casting yet, have they, for Ahsoka? Have they announced the casting who's playing Admiral Thrawn yet?
I don't think it's been officially announced, but there's talks that it's what's Mads Mikkelsen's brother's name?
Oh, the guy who did his voice then in
yeah, who's already got like the fucked up shaped head.
Did you see that? I think it was at Star Wars Celebration. It was either last year or the year before. Probably last year. They had like this big Drew Struzan style like artwork of all like the spin-offs and all the episodic movies, and there was an illustration of Thrawn on this like giant mural thing, and it looks exactly like Pierce Brosnan. Did you see that? I'm not even kidding. It's Pierce Brosnan with blue face, which made everyone think like, "Holy shit! Are they going to cast Pierce Brosnan as Admiral Thrawn?"
I hope not.
Yeah, I will show you the picture afterwards. I'm not even bullshitting. It's Pierce fucking Brosnan. I actually saw that episode I mentioned that's written by Favreau and Filoni. That's going to be episode 4 of this series. It's also directed by Carl Weathers. I think he direct an episode in the previous series, if I remember.
So he'll probably be pretty prominent in that episode.
Bryce Dallas Howard's got another episode that she's directing. She's directing episode 6. And then the guy who directed episode 1 is directing the final 2 episodes. So I don't know. I mean, as I say, we've got to Mandalore this second episode, so I'm hopeful that the progression of the series, the pacing of the series, is just as quick as this. Because if this was series 1 of Mando, we wouldn't have got to Mandalore until like episode 6. We'd have been dicking around doing pointless shit for like at least another 3 episodes.
Well, I mean, you'd have probably had the first 2 episodes from Boba Fett.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be my question, because we edit. We're editors. Your name is JXEditor. For people who don't know, shameless plug if you just tuned in. Go and subscribe. Do it now. Oh, I fucked up. Bring it in. There we go. Go and give him a subscribe. Actually, I think isn't Movies Remastered doing a Mandalorian edit? He's doing it as like a
doing,
feature film,
like movie chapters. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, years ago, I tried doing Mandalorian Series 1 as a 2-hour movie. It kind of works
I
until the
remember that.
middle, then the second act kind of shits the bed a little bit because there's like something that needs to happen in the middle to get a character to be. Anyway, if you were going to edit this so far as sort of like your third film, I guess, clearly you've got to open with the Book of Boba Fett stuff. How would you consolidate these 2 episodes so far? Because honestly, I reckon I could probably almost remove episode 1 entirely so far of season 3.
Same. I would
just open with him
I 100%
meeting
agree
Bo-Katan.
that you could remove episode 1 completely. And I would also suggest that if, depending how important Grogu ends up being on Mandalore, maybe have the Luke stuff happening at the same time until he eventually shows back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could work. That could work if you could. Well, I mean,
somebody needs to shoot that baby. He's got Grogu? Body armor.
I want to know how quickly Yoda's age up, because Yoda was 900 and he was old as shit. This child is like what, like 53, 54 now, 52.
Yeah.
So they must go through a hell of a fucking growth spurt at like 100, 200.
That's within the next 50 years. So, I mean,
prediction. Grogu says his first proper word by the end of the series, because I'm not counting that one that she thinks he says.
They totally teased that.
Yeah.
Mando.
Oh God. What is his first words going to be? What do you think?
Din.
I no, it's going to be. Oh God.
What be with you?
Oh no. Oh God, it is going to be that because it's so trash.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Is it going to go like full on ET? Like, I'll be right here. Oh no, that should have been the end of series 2 when he fucks off with Luke. They missed their chance. And anyway, they can't do that because the ET aliens technically exist in the same Star Wars universe. So
this is true.
And Yoda in the ET universe as well.
That is also correct.
But yeah, predictions. I think the creature is going to be docile. I think that's not a bad shout, actually. The whole biblical thing. Is it going to be like in the belly of the beast? Oh God, is the next episode going to be called like in the belly of the beast or something? It's going to be like the Sarlacc pit, isn't it? They're just going to be. And then when they next do a crossover with Book of Boba Fett, they're going to like compare notes about being trapped in the body of a Sarlacc or trapped in the body of a mythosaur. I've survived worse.
No, you haven't.
Anyway, that'll do it, I think. We're coming up to an hour. I don't have anything more to say. So please do.
Tom Bombadil.
No. We're not doing that. Please do consider subscribing to the channel for more movie reviews, discussions, live streams, Mandalorian reviews. We'll be here every Wednesday if we can, and we'll be chatting. So yeah, 10 p.m. GMT, whatever that translates out for you across the pond. And yeah, we'll be here talking Star Wars. It's hopefully we get another good episode. It'll be interesting to see how it shapes up. I'm still here. I'm still talking about it. So clearly the embers of Star Wars are somewhat burning, albeit very low, but they're burning still. Give me a follow on Twitter. You can find me at Hobbit Fan Editor. This is the big weekend coming up. It's the night of the 95th Academy Awards. I will be passing over to you shortly. I've just had your thing. I
was following yours.
Oh, it looked like you threw your hands up like, motherfucker.
Yeah, because I was here.
Oh, okay. My bad. Anyway, this weekend, 95th Academy Awards. It's going to be a big one. I still have a shit ton of films to watch, and hopefully, all being well, I will get all of those films watched before the week is out. I'll have movie reviews on them, and then I'll be live streaming throughout the night. I think it's like 1 a.m. till probably about 5 for us on Monday morning, early hours. So I'm going to be very tired, but I will be here. I will be streaming. I will be talking movies. In the meantime, though, because this is a Star Wars video, let us know your thoughts on The Mandalorian. What did you think of episode 2, The Mines of I keep wanting to say it, The Mines of Mandalore. And where do you think this series is going to shape up? Any speculation, anything to do with Star Wars or Mandalorian? Please do let us know. Now, I'm going to pass back over to you. Where can people find you? What are you working on currently? What you got going on over on your channel at the moment?
Hello, I'm still JXEditor. I still make fan edits, and if you remember from the Andor reviews, I'm still working on an episode 9 edit. I've been messing around with some new toys, and I'm looking forward to I've got an idea for what the next clip I'm going to post is going to be. I'll clue you in after the stream.
Sweet. Yeah, no, looking forward to it, man. And me and you are still waiting patiently on a fan edit that we're both very much looking forward to watching.
Nathan.
I don't know what the current status is of that edit. It's just going to be a expect it when you see it. But we've already planned like months ago. Probably last year. That we're going to do a collaboration review on that. We're both really looking forward to seeing what's done with it, and hopefully it's released soon, and we'll let you know and we'll be reviewing it. Anyway, thank you to everyone that's tuned in and graced us with your presence. We do appreciate it. We'll be here next week talking Star Wars. See you guys.
Bye. Love you.